Hi, my name is Daniel, and I am a TSW ninja. I'm going to walk you through an average day with the secret weapon so that you can see for yourself just how simple it can be to get things done without all the stress and hyper-planning that most people associate with productivity. I've just arrived at the office, and I do have a few items on my plate that I already set up in Evernote the night before. But before I get to it, it's a good idea to process everything that arrived in my inbox overnight. Let's start by taking care of the things that aren't actionable. Stuff that's either garbage or stuff that contains valuable information, but that I don't need to move on. Okay, this is crap, so I can delete it. Now, this one is something I want to keep. Typically, it's a good idea to hang on to all client and customer correspondence, just to have a record of who said what and when. But there's nothing I really need to do with this one. So I've got a special archive folder into which I drag all saved mail for 2012, and that message will go there. Now, what's left here are messages that put the ball decidedly in my court. I have to act on these. So, let's move them into Evernote. I just select and hit my Evernote button here in Outlook. We'll provide context to these in just a second, but I'm going to leave them tagless for right now. Now that these items have been moved to Evernote, I can clear them out of my inbox, either by deleting or, more likely, archiving them. The key is to only have to touch an item once. So, done. No more cluttered inbox.
But of course, I don't live my life in front of a computer. I can use my iPhone or Android phone to capture items for later processing while I'm out and about. The important thing is to get stuff out of your head and into a trusted system as it's occurring to you.
Now it's time to organize. I've set up a special saved search that identifies those items that don't yet have a context. Alternatively, by sorting notes by tags, all of those without a tag will be sitting at the top. I can add time, place, project, and people-related contexts, either by dragging the listing to an appropriate tag, or by simply typing the first few letters of my desired tag here and letting autofill do the rest. For example, this one needs to be done now, at work, and is related to this project. Often, a particular message is part of an ongoing pending action. In that case, it's a pretty trivial thing to merge the message with the existing pending action, so that you can see its entire history at a glance. Now that everything is captured and contains context, it's time to execute. I start with the One Now context, which contains the most emergent items. You can specify a when or what context if necessary. For example, if I'm at work and I only want at-work-related items to show up. Once I knock a few off, I'll start exploring the To Next context to see what can be moved up. It's important to process new items throughout the day as they come in. If I'm sending an email to someone with a request, I'll blind copy my Evernote account to automatically capture that item. I'll then tag that item 6 Waiting For as a reminder to follow up if I don't hear back within a few days. Naturally, a pending action needn't come from an email. If, for example, my spouse calls and wants me to pick up milk on the way home, I set up the task directly in Evernote. And then, when I'm about to leave for the day, I'll look for my at-errand context to see what needs doing around town before I head home for the night. I added a saved search for all my notes in Action Pending, tagged Errands, to quickly retrieve these on my phone. Throughout the day and work week, I isolate my attention on those items in One Now and occasionally in To Next. While I may have hundreds of pending actions in total, these few are where my focus resides all week. Days, of course, turn into weeks, and it's important to set aside a bit of time once a week to review your actions and make sure that your overall long-term goals are seeing progress. Starting with 5 someday, pour through all your action items to see what can potentially be moved up. Ask yourself questions like, do I really want to do this? Or should I amend or abandon it? Is this something I can delegate? Are there items that have been languishing here for a while? Sorting by the created date can help you quickly identify these. Why is there pushback on this particular item? Would it help to break the task into smaller pieces? Decide those that you're tired of deferring and move them up. So, with that done, take a look at your updated 1 now and 2 next tasks again. If it seems like a pretty good blueprint for a productive upcoming week, then you did it right. Keep in mind that you can filter on any tag or group of tags that you have, for example, everything related to a particular long-term project. This comes in handy when your coworker Steve walks by and you can quickly reference all things pending that involve him. If you filter by a particular set of tags often, it can be tremendously helpful to maintain it as a saved search.
As you've probably noticed, the process of collection, organization, review, and execution is cyclical. Once you've stuck with this iterative process for a while, it's going to become second nature to you.
TSW is far simpler than most other productivity systems, and getting started is easy. Remember, the only tools you need are an email client, a free copy of Evernote, and the desire to become calmer and more productive than you've ever been before. Change is always a bit daunting, but trust us, this one will be enlightening. So start clearing out that inbox and regain control with the secret weapon.